Hey, Gordon, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. It's so nice to be here, Laurie.
Yeah, I'm pleased to have you here. Before we get started, I always invite people to tell me who they are and what they're all about.
All right. Yeah, so my name's Gord Frost. I have been a consultant at Mercer for about 25 years. My background is in rewards and total rewards, helping organizations to develop and deploy total rewards programs that meet the needs of a diverse employee population. So I love the work I do. I love helping organizations make sure that they've got programs that are, competitive, attractive, flexible, and modern. So yeah, I'm
Wow.
happy to be here today.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you here. We're big fans of you. We're big fans of Mercer and the thought leadership you put out. I want to take a step back, though, because you've been at Mercer, 25 years? And
Yeah.
I want to know what young Gord wanted to do with his life. Is this it?
Oh man, you know what? It's funny. Like a lot of people, your path is not what you think it may be. And so I did not necessarily think I would end up in HR consulting or in, compensation and rewards and total rewards specifically. But I have always been interested in how do organizations um, get the best out of their people. And my passion has been around, not necessarily, technology or machinery or production. It's really how do people make the difference in helping organizations to succeed.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. I didn't really think that rewards would be the area that I would end up in, but certainly, I think that the way that you reward people, sends a very clear message as to, what the organization thinks is important from a like incentive perspective or goal setting perspective. And I think that the other elements of rewards beyond just, salary and bonus, the benefits that you offer, the time off, the other flexibility, we can talk about all those sorts of things. That's really important. Like those are things that employees value. And it also messages, what the organization values. And so I think that we can't underestimate the importance of those as well. So yeah, I love the work that I do.
You've used the word total rewards. And I think for some people, they know what that is, and some people don't know what it is. And
Sure.
also you work at Mercer. So what's that all about? Like what does Mercer do and how does that intersect with the world of total rewards?
Yeah, so maybe if I like and look, I think different people can define total rewards in different ways. When I think about it, I think quite broadly, and I think a lot of organizations are starting to think that way or have for a long time now. And I think it's the right way to look at it in that it's the if you think about it as like a number of kind of concentric circles, the base of it is like your core pay, right, that you get for doing a job, and the other elements of maybe the cash or the direct cash that you receive for that job. So you might receive, a bonus, you might receive overtime, you might receive, vacation pay, you might receive equity potentially or stock awards or things like that in certain jobs. But those are kind of the direct elements. And then in addition to that, really important is the benefits that people may receive around, healthcare, medical benefits, prescription drugs are more and more important and very costly, dental benefits, disability benefits, things like that, right? So, and I think a lot of employers and employees are familiar with that.
Yeah.
Retirement savings programs would be considered part of that, or other, wealth accumulation or savings programs. And I think it's important that we start to think not just about saving for retirement, but financial well-being goes far beyond that because
Yeah.
for a lot of people, retirement may not be what they save for. Like the notion of retirement is very different today than it might have been for our parents. But financial security is still really important, right? And so having an element of your benefits that touches on financial security and financial well-being, I
Mm.
think is important. And then even more broadly, if we think about the other elements of what an employee receives from their employer or the programs that they benefit from. So I think of things like career development and career progression. I think of things like, flexibility and the ability to balance your work with your other passions in life, whether that be family or other things. Um, I think about even organizations that have values and a purpose that aligns to the employee's values and purpose. Like those are important things to employees, and they will select one employer over another
Yeah.
based on the values that that employee has, the work that they do. Some people think of it as sustainability or ESG. Some people think of it as contributing to their community. Some think of it as just, work that they're passionate about. I think all of those things form part of the overall total rewards, or call it even employee value proposition, which is another term that's I think quite similar,
Yeah.
that are important to people. So
Yeah.
that's how I think of it.
So we've talked about kind of an overall best in class, but what about for a manager or a leader? What does a best in class total rewards package allow, or total rewards philosophy allow them to do that maybe they're not doing right now?
Yeah, and I'll touch on another area there because I think it's partly the package, right? And so, having the right type of total rewards program
Yeah.
to offer an employee that allows you to go out and get that best person for the job or keep that best person in their job is really important. And as I said earlier, that might be ensuring that they've got, salary and bonus and benefits that are competitive. And you can say, yes, we're really paying you competitively for this role. Being able to say, and here's the progression that you can expect. So being able to articulate maybe what future salary increases might be if they continue to perform well.
Yeah.
Also talking about career progression and how you attach those two things together, right? Because often, increased earnings is attached to progression in your career. So putting those together, it resonates with employees. But the other thing that I'm seeing from a best in class perspective is really focusing on the aspect of manager enablement,
Oh,
right?
tell me more. I
Because
want to hear about this.
well
Yeah.
because look, a lot of managers are not made people managers because that's their core expertise, right? They're made people managers because they've been in a functional area, whether it's call it, you know, production or marketing or sales or whatever their area is.
Yeah.
And then they've done that for a long time. And before they know it, they've got people that report to them, right? So they've
Mhm.
got direct reports. They may not have training as a manager. They may not have expertise or even interest as a manager.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Good.
so
That
you see
accurate.
you see a real variability in the quality of the conversations that you're having between managers and their subordinates or their direct reports.
Mhm.
And so that's one area that we're really seeing, I'd say, best in class employers really focus on in 2025, especially like when we do our research. Manager enablement and manager training is actually coming up as one of their highest priorities because they're realizing that you can have the best program, but if nobody understands it and managers can't talk about it in a compelling way with their employees, then you're not getting the full benefit of those amazing programs that you've developed and deployed. The second thing that I think will be a big priority is AI in general. And look, that answer would apply to any question
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah.
Like I could be in any functional area and you're like, what's the priority for next year? And I'm going to say AI.
Yeah.
But I think in
Right.
total rewards, what that means is organizations have started to experiment with how AI can be integrated into their total rewards teams or their total rewards programs. And what I'm finding is that they've hesitated because there's issues of employee confidentiality, like you're using
Mhm.
employee confidential data potentially.
Right.
And so they've hesitated to do that. And there's issues around data integrity. Like when they look into it, they'll find that their data is not robust enough
Yeah.
to really be used in an AI model. And the examples I can mean often they'll say, "Oh, well, we've got all our data in one, human capital management system." And you could name all the different ones that
Uh-huh.
are out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've done all this work to implement, ABC system,
Yeah.
but that's not enough. Like, you need to
Oh,
understand, like, if you're gonna start using that data for AI purposes, is there unconscious bias in that data?
mhm.
Are there unexplainable pay gaps in your data?
Mm.
Is there issues by gender or ethnicity or
Sure.
functional area or geography or by manager? Like, there's
Yeah.
so many areas where you can have issues or gaps in your pay data that if you fed that into an AI model, it's going to replicate those.
Yeah.
And that may not be what you want, right? Similarly, I've found organizations that say, yes, we've put all our data into one common database or repository, but they haven't gone through the hard kind of painful work of making sure, like, are all of our job codes aligned? Do
Yeah.
we have duplicate job codes where really it's the same job, but we have like 10 different job codes for the same job? And
Gord,
do we
we
need
have
to
been
clean all
having this
that up?
conversation since
I know.
2001, right? When we started to move to like the old resume systems and the old
Yeah.
account management and talent acquisition systems. Data has never been as good as it should be when it comes
Yeah.
to people.